Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. I'm so glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, we're going to go to new record highs. New record highs in the NASDAQ. New record highs in the S&P. New record highs in the Dow. We're going to new record highs. Very exciting, but we may get a pullback. It'll probably be a shallow pullback. There are some gaps to fill. Gaps are when you open the day up higher than the last day. There's a gap in between. Sometimes the market comes back and fills those gaps. And there's also scary stuff in like the bond market. The bond market, the 10-year was above 4.5%. Now, if the 10-year goes above 5%, you're going to see this market throw a tizzy fit again and come right back down. But I do think it's only going to be a shallow pullback, and I think we're going to get pushed up to a new record high. They want to push it up one more time. You got one more time to get out before the big rug pull, before the big collapse, before the bear market starts. Once again, just my opinion. You do you, I'll do me, right? All right, so we got a war going on, right? I'm not talking about with guns and stuff. We got a financial war going on. You see, it's a world war. It's a financial war. We're the reserve currency, but nobody wants our currency anymore. They want to get out of the currency. They want to get away from the currency. Now, why is that? Well, because we've abused it, right? I mean, we've weaponized it against Russia. We printed it into oblivion, so it buys less and less and less stuff. There's a financial war going on now. How this plays out, I'm not really sure, but we had like a failed bond market, technically not a failed bond market, because the Fed came in and they bought $50 billion of the bonds. But you see, the Fed is the last resort, right? They're the last buyer of the bonds. Nobody else is buying our bonds. It's very interesting. It used to be countries all around the world. The central banks would come in and they'd buy up our bonds, right? I mean, that's how we got all this cheap stuff, right? We had the reserve currency. We could sell as many bonds as we want. Can't do it anymore. They make gold a tier one asset. And what are the central banks doing? They're dumping our bonds onto the marketplace and replacing it with gold. Another tier one asset has come into the game, right? And this is a problem for us. A lot of people don't see the problem coming. That's okay. A lot of people say I don't like my country because I think our dollar's failing. No, I love my country. I'm not fond of what the government's done to our currency. Our currency buys less and less and less and less. It's harder and harder for everybody to make it in the world right now because our currency has lost so much purchasing power. Your wages have not gone up at the same pace that the currency has gone down in purchasing power. Yes, I get it. Our currency is still the best house on the block. It's still the best currency out there compared to the Mexican peso, compared to the yen, compared to the yuan. I get that, right? Okay, we're a good currency compared to all the other bad currencies. But compared to gold, the tier one asset, we're not such a good currency. You can see it losing its purchasing power. Already lost 99% of its purchasing power since the Federal Reserve has been in existence. The Federal Reserve has stolen 99% of our purchasing power. A lot of people don't get this. I get comments in there, that do not follow this guy. Do not do what Tall Mike says. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Gold's going to collapse. And that's his take. He's entitled to that. And I don't want you to follow me. I'm not a prophet. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'd much rather take my chances in real money, which is gold and silver, the God-made money, right? Now people say, but Mike, you're just a hoarder. You're just hoarding that gold and silver. I hope I am. I want to hoard some more of it. That's what you're called when you have millions and millions of dollars in a bank account. Well, that's your savings. You got more than 5 ounces of gold while you're hoarding it. You're causing the price to go up. You shouldn't do that. It's un-American. Look, at gold and silver is the only thing that's money. That's in the Constitution. Now, granted, our country doesn't care about the Constitution anymore. I get that. We've come a long ways. You see, what upsets me about our country, I love our country, but what upsets me is I see what it was when I was young, and I see what it is now, and it's night and day, right? It's not even recognized. unrecognizable, and I don't think it went in the right direction. The reason they printed the money into oblivion. Now, I get this people, the comments all the time. There's many. I'm not picking on Michael here, but Michael, he leaves a comment, that gold's going to go to $2,000. And personally, that'd be great, right? I mean, that'd be great, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we'll be very lucky if we get down to $3,000, right? But he says gold is going to go to $2,000, and he says the reason is because the Donald is going to, he's going to make all these trade deals. We're going to have free trade throughout the world. He's also going to put an end to these wars. We're going to have world peace. Now, I'm in favor of free trade. I'm in favor of world peace. I'm just not as optimistic as Michael is, right? But that's why he says that gold is going to come crashing down below $2,000 an ounce. Now, maybe it does. I don't know. I'm saying that's going to go the other way because I'm saying these are not the things that are making gold go up. You see, he doesn't understand exactly why gold's going up. And well, he kind of does. He says that there's going to be confidence coming back into the dollar, and that's going to crash the gold market. Now, are you confident in the dollar? When they print 2 to 4 trillion of them every year, money we don't have, as we go farther and farther into debt, how much confidence do you have in the dollar? You see, I'm saying he's got the reason, right? He's saying that we're going to regain the confidence and the dollar is going to skyrocket and gold's going to crash. I'm saying the confidence is going to disappear, and once the confidence disappears, the dollar is going to go to zero and gold is going to go into oblivion, into a skyrocketing mode. But don't listen to me. I'm just a crazy old guy with a microphone and the computer. Go out there, do your own research, use your brain and make your own decision. Now, Michael used his brain and he thinks gold's going to come down to $2,000. And I commend him for using his brain, right? But I think he's got it wrong. I think it's going to go the other way. I think you're going to see 5,000, then 10,000. The confidence in the dollar is going to be lost. Now, granted, before it gets to zero, I do think we're going to do a reset, and that's where the financial war is going on right now. There's a war against cash. Now, right now, if you live in Europe, go into the bank and try to take $3,000 out. They won't give it to you. You got to give them 90-day notice to get your money. It's your money. You put it into the bank, right? But 90-day notice to get it out, and they won't even take over $3,000 in cash going into the bank, right? They won't take it. Now, that's crazy to me, right? It's money. It's your money, and that's none of their business what you're doing with it. They're just a bank to hold it for you, but they don't even want to hold it anymore because they know that we're going to go, they're trying to go cashless in Europe, and they're trying to do it within the next 6 months to a year. Now, I don't think they can pull it off. We'll see. Maybe they can. But there's a war against cash, a war against money, a war against currency, but a war, a lot of people in the comments, you'd think there's a war against real money. There's a war against gold and silver. I'm just an old fool. I'm a relic just like that gold rock is. That gold rock is a relic. Look at, you could be in Bitcoin, Tall Mike. Why don't you go out there and be in Bitcoin? Now look at when the system transfers over, when the system goes down, I'm not sure Bitcoin's going to make it. Maybe it does. I hope it does. I love Bitcoin, man. It's fun to gamble in, right? Up, down, up, down. I love Bitcoin. I love Ethereum. Yeah, give me some ETFs on the fart coin, or get me an ETF on the Trump coin. I want to trade those too, man. That's great. Crypto, baby. We're going to have a crypto reserve. That's because we have a desperate government. They don't know what else to do. They know we're so far in debt. Let's go with the crypto reserve. We'll put some fart coin in it. We'll put some Trump coin in it. We'll throw some Ethereum, some XRP, maybe even a little Bitcoin will go into it. Bitcoin is real upset because they thought it was going to be a Bitcoin reserve, but it's a crypto reserve, and they're not even buying any. It's kind of funny for them, right? Kind of sad, but they pumped it back up again. I told you, I still think we're going to make a new record high in the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin will probably have a little pullback here also, but I do think they're going to push Bitcoin up to a new record high. It'll probably get to 100, 120, maybe even 130,000, but that thing's going to be collapsing about 80%, maybe 100%. I hope it doesn't collapse 100%. For all you Bitcoiners don't want your hearts broken, right? I don't want my heart broken, but I'll be betting it to the downside, so I'll be doing the little party dance when that that happens. Right now, not betting it either direction. Had that nice run up from 74 up to 100. I'm out. I'll sit and wait and see. If it gets to 110, 120, I'll start thinking about betting it to the downside. That's just what I do, though. But we got this trade war going on, right? It's still going on. We're getting it settled. They were claiming victory over China. And there's no trade deal, but we'll take the victory, right? But anyways, people think that this gold is going to go down to 2,000. I'm picking on Michael. Michael, I like you, actually. I'm not picking on you at all. There's a lot of podcasters out there that are calling for 2,200. Harry Dent calling for 1,000. I think Harry's going to be a little bit wrong on this one. But he's in the bond market right now. He's kind of frustrated, though, because he's telling all his clients, get in the TLT. Now, the TLT is the 20-year treasuries, right? And 20-year treasuries, well, they're not doing so well. They're kind of going down, going down, going down. Why? Because the rates on the long end are going up, going up, going up. On the short end, they're going to bring them down. I agree with that. I think they're going to bring them down to zero. I think once we reset into a central bank digital currency, they're going to take the nominal rate negative and steal all your money. That's why I like real money. You don't have to like real money. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to do anything I'm doing. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I like real money. So far, it's worked for me. Start buying gold at 300 an ounce. Where are we at? 3,200. But Mike, we were at 3,500. It's down to 3,200 now. You know you're wrong, Mike. You know it. You lost $300. Look, it started at 300. We're at 3,200. Yeah, I hope it comes down below 3,000. Do I think it's going to get to 2,000? Not even close. Not even close. Look at it. It's going to rally back up. 4,000, 5,000, 10,000. I mean, just protect yourself. It's a war out there, right? It's a war. And what they're doing is they're devaluing the dollar. That's all it is. An ounce of gold always is an ounce of gold. An ounce of gold is still an ounce of gold, just like it was back in 1913 when the Fed started. The only problem is the $20 bill doesn't buy you anything now. It's going to become the new penny, right? I mean, right now, the dollar's become the new penny, right? Lost 99%. Dollar's down to a penny, right? The $20 bill's going to become the new penny next. It's scary. They're going to hyperinflate. First, we're going to get to deflation, right? And then they're going to go, oh no, we're deflating. The stock market's down. Your house is down 40, 50%. We got to print the money. Print the money. We can't have this fall apart on our watch. So they will hyperinflate us right out of here. They're going to hyperinflate us. I'm telling you, the dollar's going away. It's so sad. I love my country, but they're destroying the currency. They're stealing from you. It is outright theft. Inflation is a form of theft, right? It's a tax, but it's an invisible tax, and it's a tax on everything. They don't tell you they're taking your money. They're just blaming on the big corporations. Oh, look at those greedy corporations. They're raising their prices, man. That's causing all inflation. That's not what causes inflation. It's the printing press. The printing press causes that inflation, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're going to continue to do. I don't see any end in sight. I hope a day comes when I don't need to own gold. I hope a day comes when I can get back into the stock market. I love dividend-paying stocks. I want to buy some of those, but they're way too high up here. I'll wait for that 80% crap. Get me some of them dividend-paying stocks with the gold that's going to just skyrocket up. I mean, you're going to see a wealth transfer like you've never seen before. You want to be on the right end of it? Get some physical, right? Get some physical money, real money. Get some silver if you can't afford gold. It's going to go right up with it. It's going to go along for the ride. It's probably going to 10x. Gold, I'm calling for a 3x from this point. $10,000 gold. Yeah, by the time, it takes some time. By the time the Donald's getting out of office, gold will be between 6,000 and 7,000. So you got to double for between now and then. You see everybody said, but Mike, the Doge boys came in there. They're cutting all the expenses. Look at the bill. Look at that big spending bill, right? I mean, this is like one of the highest spending budgets ever. You look at the debt clock. Go to usdebtclock.org. Look how fast it's turning. We're going to print $4 trillion this year that we didn't have. We're going to print that, right? Out of nowhere. We can't afford to pay the interest on our debt. The emperor's not wearing any clothes. Look at, you don't need to do what I tell you to do. This is just what I'm doing. If you're with Michael and you think gold's going to go 2,000? I'd sell it short, Michael, if I believe that. But I don't believe that, right? I mean, everybody thinks that gold's overvalued just because it's at a record high. No, it's still cheap. Why is it still cheap? Because they're going to steal your money. They're stealing your money in the system that's devaluating. And as soon as they can get the reset to the central bank digital currency, it's coming. They want to go cashless. They're going to do it first in Europe, and then we're going to follow right behind, right? And we'll see how it plays out. I hope we reject it. I hope we fight back against it. I don't think we're tough in America anymore. I'm sorry, I don't. I think our country has gotten very soft, and they just let the politicians run over us. We got to put our foot down at some point, and they should not be allowed to print one more dollar, not one extra dollar. If we don't have the money, you cut somewhere, then you don't spend money we don't have. Look I'm sick and tired of the inflation that they're doing to steal my money, to steal your money. I'm tired of it. We got to put our foot down, but we become soft in the U.S. Look I love my country, not so fond of my government. You like this stuff? Give me the thumbs up. Punch that subscribe button, everybody. Get out there and have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye now.